Welcome back. I'm Larry. So tonight we're going to be working on my 351 Cleveland again, and let's go and take a look at what we got. So tonight what I want to be doing is I want to install some valve cover studs instead of these bolts, because I like to run rubber gaskets and they will stick to the valve cover after a while, but it's still just a lot easier if you ever have to pull this valve cover off or anything. You know, if I decide I want to pull them off to put the engine in the truck and then put them back on later just to help protect them, it's a lot easier with the studs, because then the studs will be sticking up. You can just stick the gasket on here and then the valve cover, it'll hold it for you, then put the nuts on it. Especially on these styles, well, like I said, a rubber gasket. And then on Cleveland's, because this lip is bent up, there's nothing to really hold it to the head like there is for like a 302, for instance, where the lip is actually bent down to help hold it on the head. Just as a quick comparison here, I already went and installed them on the passenger side, so this is how it looks. And I ordered these off Amazon. They're ARP brand. So great brand. I got the black one, so it kind of helps blend in a little bit better. So this is what I got right here. This is the part number for it if you want it. And you see it says stamped steel valve cover stud kit, because they do make different ones. They make them for like aluminum valve covers, which is obviously thicker. And then they make them for stamped steel, which is thinner. And the difference is, if you look, and I'll show you after I take them out, but there's like this stop in here. So the thread stop, which is two different threads anyway, but it's got like a shoulder here that stops. The shoulder is thicker on the aluminum valve cover studs, and these are shallower, so then you get a proper seat when you're tightening the valve cover down. All right, so let's go ahead and get these valve covers here pulled off, so we can install those studs. Pop this off. And now my gasket actually did stick to the valve cover, but said either way, whether it sticks or not, it's still easier to install with studs. All right, so out of the package, you can see this is that shoulder I was talking about. On the ones made for aluminum valve covers, they're taller, they're thicker. Now I'm gonna go ahead and install all these by hand, and then we'll come back with two nuts and jam nut them together to tighten them down tight. And also, for this application, they do have different packs. I bought an 8-pack because it takes 8 to do one side of a Cleveland modified in 400. On 302, there's only 6. So I think they do have a pack of 6, and they got the pack of 8s. So now what I'll do is I'll take 2 of the nuts provided in the kit, and I will put one upside down on the stud and then put the other one on top of it, and then jam them together like this. And the cool thing is these are the same size as the factory bolts, a 7/16. And now we can just tighten them on down until they stop. I tighten them good and tight. Obviously don't want to strip it out, but just good and snug. I always use a short wrench so then I don't strip it out, because it's easier to do with a longer wrench, but this will give you a better feel for it. All right, so real quick, I want to show you, this is how it's supposed to look. That shoulder's supposed to be sitting down in that bolt hole, kinda. It's just barely sticking up. You can see before you tighten them down, it's sticking up pretty high, and then it's kind of almost flush with the head mating surface. So you can use blue Loctite if you want to, but it's not necessary. Like I said, with tighten them down with that wrench, they're not going to come loose whenever you take the nuts loose. There we go. Now let's repeat the same process for the rest of them. Okay, with all of them done, now we can install the valve cover gaskets. But first I'll go through and wipe my mating surface, get any oil off that may have leaked out. Now I took my gasket off the valve cover just to show you how much nicer this is now that we have those studs. You can take this and just put up here. Now that holds it perfectly aligned. We don't have to worry about it slipping down and having to hold it and this falling down too far. None of that. It holds it perfectly. Now the same thing with the valve cover. You just slide it on there. See, now it can't just fall down. It'll hold it there. Now we can go put the washers and nuts on here. So they give you flat washers in the kit. Just put them on and then you install the nut over it. Okay, cool. Now we can take the nut driver and run them on down. I tell you, this is so nice. I love having this kind of stuff here. It has a little bit of a custom look to it while still looking original, and that's what I like about it. And even though I don't plan on pulling the valve covers off this engine very much because they're non-adjustable rocker arms, because it's not necessary on the engine build that I did. It's mostly a stock build for the most part. But it's still nice to just have this ease if I ever need to pull these valve covers off for any reason. I don't have to worry about having to try to line that gasket up. Or if I ever need to replace the gaskets for whatever reason, it'd make it a lot easier. All right, we're done. All right, so here's a quick look up close at the finished product. And that just looks so nice. And then if you have those metal clips that the factory used, you can still put them on here. Just put the clip on first, then put your washer and your nut on, and it still looks factory, and you can't even tell. You know, it just kind of blends in with them black studs. I like that a lot. All right, well, that's all there is for this video. We got that done. That turned out great. I couldn't be happier with it, and happy to have that complete now. So it's well worth the money. I can't remember exactly what I paid for it. I want to say it was like maybe $20 I paid for both of them. $20 or $30 for both. I can't remember. But it already paid for itself. So it's worth it in my opinion. And like I said, they do have, I had to look a little bit. The ones for the aluminum valve covers are easier to find, I guess, because probably more people run them. But they do have them for stamped steel, so make sure that you look for that. You know, it'll be on the packaging or to say in the description for aluminized valve covers or aluminum valve covers or stamped steel valve covers. So make sure you look for that for whichever application that you have. So that's all there is for this video. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. If you didn't, thumbs down. If you're not subscribed, what are you doing? It's free. Hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that as well. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave me in the drop box down below. That's all there is for this video. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one. Take care.